What's up guys, and welcome back to another EVE Online video. Today what we're doing is pretty terrifying. I am down in Delve trying to run the more challenging event sites and get the escalations and things. I've just run one successfully, so now I'm trying another. But the reason I say it's terrifying is we're in Nullsec in Blood Raider space in Delve, and there's a lot of people down here, right? So I've got 22 people in local. I am in a Loki, which is pretty simply fit. I will post the link, but it's similar to like what I roam Nullsec in my other videos. Just general shield tank, Dread Choristas booster, and then just heavy assault missile based with the cloak. I've got all the different damage types to try and cycle through for the most effective one for the rats we're facing. And like Heretic and Curse, for example, are both thermal. The site generally is just like a little bit harder than the Tetramon base, so I'm now running a Tetramon frontline base. I'd describe it as just a little bit harder. There's not much difference. This first wave is a little bit bigger. I'd say there's the same number of waves, but each wave is maybe a little bit bigger, not much. But the boss and then the loot so far has been worth it. I've run one successfully, but because they are only a little bit harder, not a huge amount harder, I'm going to try and I got 3 keys out of the last one, so I'm just going to take the shortcut so that we can skip through to the boss, and so that I'm not on grid as long in this terrifying system. What do we got here? Lots of you've still got a curse, so I'm just going to start with the curse. So obviously we're straight through to the final room now, which is very nice to be able to skip everything. I'm going to take out the curse first in this fit, and then we'll see what we've got coming later. Generally this fit works pretty well. When I ran this site, the frontline base, I had no problems at all just now, but the boss did spawn by itself. When I tested this fit in HighSec, running just a Tetramon base, I did have a bit of problems on the boss wave because the boss spawned in amongst another full wave, and the incoming damage was pretty high. So that is worth mentioning, but I still thought, you can heat stuff, and generally you're all good. And so I thought, that didn't go very well, so let's stick with this fit and just charge on down into Nullsec and see what we can do. And so far it's going okay. I was swapping to Rage here to take out the Oracles because they were suddenly slapping quite hard, but I think that may have been premature now. But we'll see. I'm going for the Augurer first because it's the remote rep ship, but I should have probably just gone for an Oracle first now that I'm Rage. But every now and again you see they hit quite hard. The other thing to note is I have taken a level 2 hard shell, so I've got 5% extra shield boost, and I think that might be what's making this no longer hard like the Tetramon base was. So that's probably worth doing. Just adding a 5% extra boost in if you're going to do this. But the Loki runs this absolutely fine. The interesting thing about the situation down here has been, as I mentioned, that we peaked at 31 people in local, and I'm terrified. At any given moment, someone's going to come in, and a lot of the time you're scrammed, right? So if you're worried about that, I should have taken the Crucifier out first to mean I could warp out. But partly because I'm recording, I chose not to. I'm kind of just down here. If I end up with loads of loot, obviously I'll try not to die, but I'm not too bothered. I'm just trying stuff out. But yeah, should have gone for the Crucifier first, really, because then that scram's gone. And if someone enters the room, the nice thing, of course, about these gated things is you can have your D-scan on short range, because anyone, even if they're cloaked, will appear on your D-scan when they come through the gates. The exception is the recon ships, like the Curse and the Arazu. They don't show up on D-scan, but everyone else will. So if you're concerned about people coming in, you take out all the people that are disrupting you. So I'd go for these bunch now, to make sure that I can warp out if anyone comes in. But you've also got to balance that against the incoming damage. So we've got 2 oracles in here and a heretic, so the incoming DPS is now very high. If I got really unlucky, I'm actually going to have to go rage, and I'm going to have to heat my mids for a minute. And maybe turn on afterburner to increase my speed. I've got to take at least 1 oracle out here just to remove the DPS. Right, turn off heat for a second. Well, I think we're under control. Oh, that's another big volley. But again, once we'll get rid of 1 oracle, we should be fine. I'll get rid of 2 because there's still nothing coming in. I don't want to change ammo type again. But we really should be fine. So that's 1 down, and that should stabilize us. So and the Omen's big damage as well. So this is quite a high damage wave. We had a Heretic, 2 Oracles, and an Omen. So you just kind of need to balance what you're taking out first based on the need at that moment. I was going to do the Warp Disrupt, but I've had to swap to the DPS ships to make sure that this is manageable. But as soon as that's gone, I should be able to reload and start taking out smaller stuff now, because the incoming DPS should have dropped sufficiently. The other thing to watch for is this is the second wave, so the boss could spawn soon. The hope is that he wouldn't. He's supposed to spawn after the second wave, but he might spawn now, and if he'd spawned at that point, I'd have been in trouble, particularly with the newts coming in as well. The newt on the boss is big. Now, from a loot point of view, this was quite an interesting site. I've not watched any videos on how to do this. I just came down and honestly was just winging it. The boss in themselves had a good amount of loot. It had like 62 or something of the blanks, a couple of skins, an extended cerebral accelerator, and they all now have estimated values. So we were talking something like 170 million estimated. But then also, similar to when you're running high-class wormhole sites, a decloaked Tetramon transmitter appeared once I killed the boss. I thought shooting that might be what escalates the site. On this occasion it didn't, but it did drop a container which had another 90 war clone blanks in it, so there was another 90 million right there. So all in all, for one site, I walked off with about 270 million ISK, which is pretty good. Let's see if that happens again. Yeah, so I am going to load to Inferno and just see what spawns. Ease off on the rep to get my capacitor back a little bit, and then when we take out the heretic, let's just hope we just have the boss, but we may have a much bigger spawn. Just the boss so far. So I'm going to orbit at 30, reload to Nova Rage, turn on my reps, drop drones as well. Or lock it, I suppose, would be important. And start wailing on him. The reason I'm going out to 30 is just to make sure his webs don't apply. He doesn't travel very quickly, and so even with just an afterburner fit, he can stay out of his web range, and therefore the DPS reduces a little bit. He's 7.5 million, he's a Commodore, and resist profile, because he's generally armor tanked, that's why I'm going explosive. He's dealing EM thermal. Yeah, look, still 30 people. I think this is what I was saying a minute ago. 30 people in the system, and not one has come in. And it was the same in the first site. Someone actually warped to the gate in a praxis, and then they saw I was in here and chose to leave. So I don't know if there's just a general vibe of we all look after each other or something while we're doing this, or not. it just seems very, very unlikely because remember there's also 90% PvP drops at the moment. So the incentive to PvP, if it wasn't high enough just anyway for people, is really big now. There's also, if you weren't aware, there's the Crimson, the Blood Raider version of this is the Dark Blood Gauntlet. I've not run that yet because I'm on the side of the Blood Raiders, so I'm running Tetramon to fill up the mission path. But yeah, it's possible as well. So there's the decloaked transmission relay. So while I now figure out which wreck I've got to go pick up, we will start attacking that, and we'll see if anything escalates. Because you see it appeared in here now as a thing to destroy. New signature, that's probably nothing to do with me, just interesting timing. Again, another 136 estimated, so 62 war clone blanks, a potent this time and a bunch of other boosters, and 3 skins.
A module has run out of charges.
Like, that's pretty good. I can't see an escalation again. Nothing in local, nothing's popped up. So we'll pull drones. But once again, the thing is destroyed and dropped a can. So let's go see what's inside that can. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Another 107 Warclone blanks. So yeah, I mean that's 2 sites now I've run that have been, 250 estimated plus. So I've run 2 sites and walked away with $500 million, which is pretty nice. It's terrifying because of everyone else. These other wrecks can hold Warclone blanks, but because I came with so many different missiles, because I'm going to be down here hopefully for a little while if I don't die, I didn't bring an MTU with me, and I'm not spending the time on grid to go and do those. If this one's not being run, I'll probably run another one, and we'll see if at some stage I get a... Where's that flycatcher? It's not a good look. We'll see if I get an escalation at some stage. I have no idea if the escalations only apply to the Blood Raider sites or if they do the Tetramons as well. You would hope both, because that would be a bit unfair on your chosen path. But yeah. So obviously that was a bit quick because we skipped the second room, but really it was very similar to the Tetramon base. But the loot is way higher, and I assume that's because of the risk associated with just being in Delve and having to do this. So let me just everything in this station is just from the 2 sites. So let's just unpack what we've got here. I also brought with me, by the way, a mobile depot and a data analyzer so that I could swap to see about if the hacking sites were good as well. And we've got the warp core stabilizer here, and offline we've got a compact interdiction nullifier as a travel fit. But yeah, there you go, 444 estimated, and I've got 2 more keys, so I'm going to go and run another one of these with another key. But that's not bad at all, including a few skins, some of which I may or may not have yet. The 2 good boosters and 338 Tetramonic Warclone blanks. Can they be sold down in Delve? It looks like maybe. Yeah, okay, awesome. That's great news. So Delve is where these sell to NPCs for $1 million. So you don't have to haul these or sell them for cheap at market. If you're running these down here, these sell at full price. So this on its own is 338 million before tax. And then we've got the 2 good cerebral accelerators, which I'll use, and a few more hard shells, which is quite nice because this hard shell will expire when I finish this next site. Anyway, So that's it. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you found it interesting because I just wanted to go find out what this was. If you did, please consider giving a thumbs up and subscribing. Um, as always, you can use my creator code WAD if you're taking advantage of any of the sales or booster packs on the Eve store, and my link to the Marquee Dragon store is below. Thanks, guys, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.